disgusting outside. There's no other word to describe it really. It's blowing a gale and it's pouring with rain. So I'm hiding again in the greenhouse. But today what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my garlic off. Now there's two different sorts of garlic you can get. There's the autumn planting one and there's the spring planting one. Now the autumn planting one, obviously you plant in the autumn. It doesn't tend to do much. It sort of stays dormant until sort of the spring comes, and then it will start to shoot. The spring one, you actually plant in the spring and it's got a shorter growing season. I have done both. But down the allotment I've only ever planted the spring. I did some autumn planting ones in the garden here years and years ago, and in fact I completely forgot where I put it until all the shoots started coming up, and then I thought, oh, it's garlic. Down the allotment it tends not to do the autumn planting garlic tends not to do very well, because it gets a bit, not where I am it gets very waterlogged, but it's just too exposed, and I personally find that it doesn't work particularly well. Now garlic does need a bit of a cold snap to sort of get it going. If it doesn't get that, it doesn't really matter, the bulbs just won't be as big. But I'm going to start these off now, today. It's the 27th of January, and I'm going to start them off in half toilet rolls, and I'm going to have them in the greenhouse, and they will stay in the greenhouse until about the beginning of March, and then I will put them outside. So I will show you that when I do. Now the two varieties I've got, I went to our local DIY store because it's just up the road, and got some garlic, and they only had two varieties there. They've got Casablanca, which I've grown before, which was quite small actually, and I didn't really want this, but they only had 2 packs of early purple white because I wanted an Isle of Wight one because the bulbs are bigger and they tend to do better, but they only had 2 packs which only had 1 bulb in them each, so I got 2 packs of that and 1 pack of that, so I've got 5 bulbs altogether, so hopefully it'll keep us going for a while. So I'm just going to show you how to do one of these. Do them all exactly the same. Okay, it's very simple, you don't need anything fancy, you just need some toilet rolls, good old toilet rolls, we like these, and some multi-purpose compost, and just a tray to put them in. So let me show you how to start off your garlic. So all I've got here, I've got 1 toilet roll which I've cut in half. If you've got a kitchen roll, cut that in 4. Okay, so just fill your half toilet roll with multi-purpose compost, pat it down gently, and then all you need to do is to get your bulb of garlic, and you just need to break it up. You can be quite robust with this. Okay, and just take a clove, take off any of the outside sort of flaky skin, leaves, you know, most of it on, but just some of it will come off, and then all you need to do is to pop it in the multi-purpose compost. Make sure that the root end is obviously down, and then the top end, the sprouting end is pointing up, and just push it down so it's nearly covered with the soil, and that's really it. So I'll carry on, I'll do another one just to show you. Just fill it in. If you come across any cloves that are soft or a bit mouldy, don't put those in because they won't grow. Okay, if as you're trying to prise these apart you end up splitting one, don't worry about it, that will be absolutely fine. So just push it in. If you don't push it in very far, if you just sort of plop it on the top there, when the roots start to come up, they'll actually push the bulb up, and then it will either be sort of growing on the side like this, or it will just leave.
it will just sort of fall off, which is why I push it down fairly firmly. And then at least if it does move up a little bit, it's got sort of a bit of give. There's still lots of the clove that's still in the soil, so push it down as far as you can. If you don't have toilet rolls, you can always just fill a seed tray with multi-purpose compost and just stick them in, sort of about 4 across and about 7 down, depending on the size of your tray. So I'll carry on and I'll do all of these. Well, actually I'll just do this one bulb and then I'll show you. Sometimes you find that when you get into the middle they get quite small. If they are really, really tiny, then I would suggest that you don't bother with them, because they're really, really small. But sometimes you find that in the middle they're actually still fairly decent sized. So they should be, yes, they should be okay. But just check each one, just make sure that it's firm and make sure that there's no sort of mouldy patches on any of them. And then you can just sow them all. So I'll carry on doing these and I'll come back to you soon.
Okay, so I've done both the bulbs of the Isle of Wight ones, the purple ones, and I've got 15. I did have a few mouldy ones, or a few that were slightly mouldy. I'm not going to put that one in because it's just gone really dry at the top. Actually, I tell you what I might do. I might just chop that bit off because it's just not gone mouldy, it's just gone a bit dry, and the bottom might be okay, so I will put that one in. And we'll see how that one goes. But I did get some that were mouldy. If they're soft, then don't bother to put them in because they're not going to grow. Now these will stay in the greenhouse until they need to go outside, which will be, depending on the weather, hopefully the beginning of March. Garlic doesn't mind it being a little bit on the chilly side when it goes out into the soil, so these will go out before the onions go out. But I'll see what the weather's like at the beginning of March and just go from there. But I will film putting them out, so you will see. But they'll be in the greenhouse for a good 6-7 weeks. So hopefully that will give them a head start before they go out into the soil. You may need to water these, you may not. It just depends. If the soil gets dry, then give them a quick water with the watering can. But if not, if the soil stays damp, then just leave them. And by the time we go to put them outside, we should have some lovely roots down the bottom, and we should have some nice little sprouts coming up, little shoots, and they should be about 3-4 inches tall-ish. Depending on how quickly they grow. But that's it. I've got the Casablanca ones to do now, so I've got 3 of those cloves. So hopefully I should have a good amount of garlic to last us next year. If when you come to plant these out they haven't got any roots down the bottom and they haven't got any shoots growing at the top, then they're clearly not going to grow, so you can just discard them, stick them in the compost heap. But we'll come across that when I do it. So I'll just carry on and I'll sow the other 3 bulbs of the Casablanca and add those to these ones, and then I think I'll go and have some lunch. And I'm not going to go outside much longer because it's foul out here, it's just disgusting. Anyway, I'm safe and cosy in the greenhouse. Well, I hope you found that interesting and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye bye.